Well, hello, welcome everyone to the SFR GT Challenge race today. Pro Division Round 4 here at Interlagos. Time to get the race started. And welcome along to everyone that is new here. And if you're watching us on Mixer, welcome. As we have now officially entered the Mixer world. Here's your grid. Spec 1 on top with CK. And Spike next to Nataku in 4th place. Waiting for the start to get underway. And they're racing it here at Interlagos. The Pro Division Round 4. And it's Spec 1 who takes us up into the first turn. Got to make sure we don't get any... We've got Deathscythe around. I think Deathscythe's the only one that's been caught out. Let's have a look at the replay as he gets going. His Deathscythe is up towards first turn. Oh, he's done that to himself. And he's ghosted out. And luckily that's let everyone else get through the race. But it's Spec 1 next to neck and neck with CK. Up against Nataku, and Spike is still sitting in 3rd place right now, but a pretty decent start from the rest of the field. Nataku is going to want to wish he didn't do what he's done, running out wide before the center S's. Or have we got to play a lot? Oh, yep. So we do. So yeah, we've got a player stuck, which is fine. So that means we'll get a restart here. And Nataku gets really lucky. Little Mac, you might have noticed, starting at the back of the grid. That's because some penalty points have come into effect for this race. Well, it was really good. That was really good, I think. Even though we did eventually get the red flag out, it was done before the end of the first lap. And kudos to all the drivers. Even though probably some of them knew that there was a red coming, they just kept going, which was good. It was a lucky break for a few of them actually, but yeah, that's the way things happen sometimes. But welcome along, and thank you, Erky, for that. I didn't see that I didn't see that, but yeah, that's why you guys are there. I'm supposed to go through and check all the players as we go along, and I thought I'd done that, but I guess I missed one. But good evening, everyone. Yeah, we're just waiting for a restart here. We're at Interlagos. Let's give you some interesting statistics about this track. The length is exactly 4,309 meters, or 4.3 kilometers. Elevation change throughout the circuit it equates to 44 meters. There are 15 corners in total, and the longest straight here at the circuit is 589 meters long, which is a pretty average straight line. Not the longest we've seen in the series, but it's long enough. Oh, it's all right. It's all right. We got the red flag sorted anyway, so it does not matter. Anyway, we're just waiting for the restart. We had player lock, meaning we just got to get the thing restarted, and that meant a few drivers get a second chance at this restart here. Yes, it is a red flag. And like I said, we're on Mixer now, so I'm going to have to add a Mixer tag to the bottom of the screen. You can see Twitter at Demo1G is the tag, Facebook at Demo1Garage, Twitter at Demo1Garage, YouTube /Demo1Garage, and Mixer is Demo1Garage. So it's pretty easy to remember. Yeah, mixer.com/Demo1Garage. We're actually live there right now, so we've got four places you can watch us, which is really awesome actually. Ooh, we got some suspense music. Hey, we got to fill in the time somehow. Here we go, round 2. There's your grid as it sits. It was Spec 1 on top with CK, Spike and Nataku. Nataku spinning himself off. The drivers now getting ready to get going. And it's racing. CK gets a decent start next to Spec 1. He might actually beat him up to the line. Inside line, it's going to be beneficial for him, and he's absolutely flying up towards the first turn. Side by side with 305. Oh, we've got another car stuck. That means it's another red. You Shazam. Oh, you want to know what the song is? It's just called Upside Down. Here's the song again. It's just on the YouTube audio library. It's called Upside Down. Here's the song. I don't know the artist because I didn't need to figure that out because this is a song that they just provide for free, no attribution required. The artist said you can just use it in any format you want, in any format you wish. You don't even have to tell them what the song's called or who made it. So Gel Speed is his last chance. take you through some of the standings in the Pro Division as it stands after 3 rounds. Spec 1's on top with 34 points. And then this is including the 2 drop rounds as well. CK is second with 34, so tight. Nothing to separate the front 2. And then it's Bekwa in third, 28. Sebestro 28, 2 round 28. So they're all fighting. That's down to 5th place. 6th place, Magic Man 24. Little Mac 24. Gel Speed 24. That goes down to 8th. In 9th, it is Stag on 20. And then Hyper's 10th with 16. Hoodie has 16 too. Death Sice got 14. 305 12. J-Rod's got 12. Boys Noise in 15 with 10. And then it's Big Red with 4. Klecky 17th with 4. Refuse Protocol 3. Tag with 3. And Nataku, nothing yet. Yeah, the music. Thank you, Arrowhead. Thank you, Todd Digamo, for following. We're just getting a red flag fixed up. We'll get straight back into the racing. From what I remember, I think Black Dragon Racing Team are now eligible to start scoring points this round. Oh, they've already scored points, so my bad. But yeah, it was Stronger Together Racing, now Black Dragon Racing Team. Was using the Ferrari in the pre-season. I was hoping he was going to use it for the full season, but he didn't quite stick with it. Thanks to everyone who's watching on YouTube right now. Got a decent audience sitting down on YouTube. But we've also got Facebook and Twitch, along with Mixer now. Herky's hosting my stream. Thank you, Herky. I thought I changed the hosting logo, but you just get a zombie. So thanks, Herky. This one before. This one's called Palm Trees. We're just waiting for one more car and then we can get this thing done. We had a few people stuck on the grid. It's a problem that's stuck around for a while. It's right on board with Hoodie. Is he going to do a lap? Because he's come around turn 5. We're on board in the Viper, one of my favourite cars of all time. Uphill portion now, and then it gets quite technical in the middle sector. So it comes up and brakes hard for turn 8. And then it's back downhill. You've got to go swinging left and turning very hard to the left as the elevation changes down. Back up towards turns 10 and 11. And then you go back downhill through the second sector. And that's the end of the technical part. Woody's done a good job of doing that. Into Junkau, which is turn 12, 13. And then up the hill, it's flat out here on in. It should be anyway. Into the third sector. And then up towards the start-finish line. He's flicking up through the gears as we go. He's in 5th gear now. 145, 46, almost 150. Is that going to say miles an hour? Because 150 kilometers an hour is pretty slow. And then braking hard before you hit the center S's. That's a big overtaking area up into the first turn. And then you've got to get it right through here too. Carry a lot of speed through Curva de Sol, and Woody's done a good job of showing us what's involved here on the track. Hope everyone's ready for this one. We had the FIA World Finals happen. I'm yet to watch the manufacturer. I've seen a little bit of it, but I haven't watched it in its entirety. But I think Toyota won, didn't they? I haven't watched it, so I'm only guessing. But I did watch the Nations semi-finals, and they were some pretty decent races. And I was hanging out for Matt Simmons from Australia. You might see Matt. Thank you, Dan Wood, for liking the stream. Sorry it's taking so long to get started, but not too long to go. Yeah, I was hanging out for Matt Simmons. I commentate some of his races on Sundays in the league, Race on Oz League. And I was looking forward to him. He had a run with the Australian TCR Championships a few weeks ago. So he's going places, and I was expecting some good things from Matt, but it just didn't work out for him, unfortunately. And Cody, who won the FIA World Motorsport Games, I don't think he managed. He got 5th or so in the Nations. He did well to qualify through, though. We'll give him that. He's known to being a fast and aggressive driver, but yeah, just didn't quite convert it to a win. Here we go. We're getting a restart. So thanks for hanging around. My name is Josh Gahan here at Demo 1, live on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Mixer for the first time this weekend. So SFR, you're our premiering racing event for Mixer. So I hope you're enjoying it if you're discovering us on Mixer tonight. But here's your grid as they stand. Spec, CK, Spike, Nataku, Deathscythe, your top 5. And we're expecting some really good starts from those Mercedes. They're really good off the line. But watch CK here. He usually gets away really quickly. This is the last restart anyway, so we're going to have to wait and see if there's anyone stuck. They're stuck for good, and that's going to be the end of their night. But CK's underway, and Spec 1 again might be beaten up towards the first turn for the first lap. He's done a good job. He's covered his racing line, but I think CK is going to get it. He does. Good job from CK. And a good job from the rest of the drivers too, as they all battled through. Boys Noise got pushed out wide a little bit, and I think someone might be stuck. Oh, it doesn't matter. There was no red flag situation there. Back at the back of the grid. Look at this. Beckwart 2 Rare and Boys Noise. They're going for it. And there's not much separating them, but CK, he is putting on the pressure tonight, and everyone around him is going to have to race extremely fast and hard to catch back up to him. As we go through, you can see Spike is there in the AMG as well. They've got a historically good off the starting line. Stag, he's there as well in 5th place. He'll be able to hold that one. And 305's given Hoodie a bit of a hustle along here, and he might have got the position. He's side on with him. Hoodie's got some damage on the front, so I wonder where he's picked that up through the lap. You can see 305 trying to cover his bases here, not getting around, but he's got the better traction out of 13, and that's going to be Hoodie on the back foot from here on in. And that's not a place where you want to be caught napping, because it's a very, very long flat-out section that the drivers can obviously use to their advantage, and 305's done just that. Woody caught out. But that was a very clean start from everybody. Pushing each other along through the S's here. Hoodie, he's been slid out wide as he tried to muscle his way through in a muscle car. Didn't quite work for him here. Look at this. Look at the racing that's going on here. This is absolutely... Oh, geez, he almost got caught out there, and I don't know how Boys Noise avoided that one. There was an early on the brakes from Magic Man, and Boys has done some great avoiding action. That could have been a little bit more messier than what it was. Look at this, 3 wide, 2 wide. They can't figure it out. They all want to be up forward. Desyth and Boys Noise. They're trading paint as they come through. Great little start. You're not late at all, Rocky, because we had 2 red flags, so you've only just seeing the start of it now, brother. Well, Magic Man, look at that. He's pumped his way forward. He sent the car through the Lexus, pulling up for him in time as he drops the anchors, and he gets the car rotated around the corner. And he'll be happy with the way that one's turned out. But looks like they're starting to settle down the back end. Back up to the front, CK with a 6/10 lead over Spec 1. And Spike. Rocky, if you're here, how do I say Spike's name properly? Because you did tell me in the chat message, but I haven't got Facebook around me to read what you said. So we can see these top 3, they're fighting very, very closely. Let's have a look at tyre strategy, what they've picked. So we've got soft tyres for Spec 1, and then we've got soft tyres for CK, and soft tyres for Spike. So that is why they're all so quick at the start of this race, and they're building quite a big gap over, say, Nataka here, which is not surprisingly, look at that, he's on the mediums, and that is the difference in tyre compounds here. It is. And then Stag's on mediums too, so very interesting. So we should start ticking them off our list so we can follow along at home. One day I'll get a fancy graphic or something that we can chuck up on screen and everyone can follow along without everyone have to playing their own game with pen and paper. So we've got Nataku and Stag. 305s on the softs, and it's medium as well for Hoodie, and he's going to be beaten here, I think, as once again the inside line from Boys Noise gives him the better traction, and Hoodie is on the back foot again around the corner, and he's going to have to work at it as he comes out of junk out. Oh, he's gone around him there. Look at this, drag race up to 1. That Viper has incredible straight line speed, and he's going to be able to use that to gain some spots back, but he needs to get on the brakes a little bit earlier because he's run wide and lost 2 spots out of that one, and that is not what Hoodie wants at all. Here we go, we got, this is Boys Noise and Magic Man. They're putting on a big show. Boys Noise is on the softs, and Magic's on the softs. Oh, Speak Loud. There you go. So not, I keep calling him Spike. It's Speak Loud. All right. So my bad. Apologies to Speak for calling him Spike. I thought it was Spike Lord. I thought that was a cool name. Someone should call themselves Spike Lord, because I think that's a really funny name. Here we go. We got this trio now, hustling and bustling through. Magic Man just in the middle of it all. And Hoodie, he's on the back end of this one, on the tailpipes of Magic, looking for a way through. Oh, we don't have a, and he's going to get him up the inside. That's a good little move from Magic, and he's come flying through. I don't know if he's cooked it there, and Magic, well, he had the speed, but he's going to lose all that hard work. That's such a shame for Magic Man. He was going a little bit too quick, and he's totally forgotten to hit the brakes when he needed to. Up the front, we got CK, and Spec 1 is right there with him. So this is going to be a very, very close contested battle. I told you it would be, and it always is in the Pro Division. And I must say, they've done a really good job off the start line. Is he trying to signal something to Spec 1 here? Let him through? Or we're seeing the flashes go. Yes, well, CK definitely showing what the Z4's got around this especially tight middle sector. It's putting some of the bigger cars to shame. Or is it just his brakes? It looks like his indicator, but it's just his brakes. Let's see what CK looked like off the start line. He was in second place. And he had a good battle up with Spec 1. Spec 1 got away really well. And as he come into it, he was able to brake a lot later, the car a lot lighter. And he got him just here on the apex through the center S's, and it was goodbye, good night from CK. The DNA hoodie, he was wearing some damage on the front. I don't know if there was some bumping going on coming up into maybe turn 4 or 5. This was on the first lap, remember? So Hoodie was holding his own. He was just in behind Stag here. He was already wearing it, so it must have been right off the start. There he is now. He's in 7th place, so he's moved back down 1 spot from the start. But it's Boys Noise in the Lexus who's giving him some trouble at the moment. They've got 4 seconds to 3:05, so these guys are absolutely blistering pace at the moment. And Stag is up there as well, with Nataku is up to 4th. But it's these two at the moment we're keeping a very, very close eye on as we wonder and wait to see when they're going to take to their first pit stops here. We're hitting lap 6 now. And CK's last lap was a 1:32. Let's have a look what Spec was doing last lap as well. 1:31. So Spec's looking a little bit quicker at the moment for Rockefeller. So they're going to be cheering this man on right now. We'll wait and see if he can orchestrate an overtake in a couple of laps' time. Gel Speed, I think, was stuck last time on Drea. I don't know who was stuck. I don't think Gel Speed's here this time, so I think it was Gel Speed who was stuck. That's why I called the red flag. He got stuck on the 2 starts. And there's Speak Loud in the white and blue Mercedes. I think, is that a new livery for Speak? I don't remember seeing that one. Now we've got a little bit of action happening from 4th onwards. The battle is continuing. And Taku leads this little field for 4th. It's Stag and 305 who are a part of it. And 305 could be causing some real issue. The Flying Dutchman, yes. 305. He's pushing hard. And so Stag as well. Stag's really starting to pressurize Nataku there. So Nataku needs to get a hustle on. Jeff. Well, the Mercedes it's probably one of the best all-round cars, I'd say. It's got a good start. It's good on the straights. It's not too bad through the corners. And I'm not sure what it's like on fuel or tyres. I'm sure everyone else here will tell you how good it was. 305 was going for a spin, I thought, as we're riding on board with him. And he's held that one up, luckily. So Nataku's the first in. So I had Nataku on my list of medium compound users. So he'll go to the quick tyre from here, and he should be able to hopefully come out into a bit of the racing action. Or is he going to come out into some clean air? That would be good. Death Sice on mediums too, so tick him off at home. Come out just behind Boys Noise here, and Magic Man, so he's in 9th place on the quicker tyre too. So Nataku's worked that one well, I think. He just needs to not get held up by this traffic ahead of him, and he can probably sit back into the 4th place. Magic Man's giving a go. Giving it a good old crack here on Boys. Lexi versus Lexi. So it's all down to the driver here at the moment. And Magic's trying to stay on the racing line and get that optimal speed through the circuit here. Trying to make the corners as straight as possible. Oh, I think he's just touched the back. Did he just hit the back of Boys Noise? Oh, where's Boys gone? Oh, he got punted out. Ah, that's a shame. Massive, massive shame for boys. So Boys Noise is now relegated to 9th place, and you can see the tyres are starting to look a little bit worse for wear at the moment. And that'll be why he's entering the pit lane. This is Hoodie. And Hoodie takes off the mediums and goes onto the softs. We got Hoodie on the list as well. So CK now 9-second lead on Spec 1. I think Spec 1's gone into the pits that lap, so that is why there's a massive gap compared between what we saw the lap before between CK and Spec. So CK right now needs to keep it clean. He needs to do a relatively quick lap as well, because his tyres are going to be falling away. His lap times are going to be dropping off, and he's not going to be enjoying that one at all. There's Speak in third, and he's got 3 seconds to go to catch Spec, and 4 behind him, which is Natako. So Natako's come back out in 4th after all that, and he's that strategy's worked well for him here in the first stint. Here's Stag. He's still got the lead over 305, but 305 is not giving up at this moment. CK's in. The race leader's into the pits here on lap number 9. He's gone to the mediums on the second stint. So we've got CK done with the mediums. The rest of the field should be coming through, but I think CK might just be behind Spec 1 here. Maybe not. No, he's come back out ahead. He's gone side on with Spec 1 though. It's a drag race and Spec 1 has just done it. CK wasn't quick enough through the pits, and Spec's put in the laps he's done. I think that extra laps that CK did on those aging soft tyres has hurt him there. He's lost a lot of time, and Spec 1's been able to do the undercut, and it has worked magnificently for this man from Rockefeller. So now we're just waiting to see how the fuel plays out and how the tyres all play out. But Spec 1 has taken the lead, and pitting when he did definitely worked. There's Speak in third, and Taku's back up into 4th, and 305's gotten around Stag here. So 305's happy with how that's all operated. You can see they're on the soft tyre. I think Stag's on some softs as well. He is. They come up through the gears. He's going to hit 200 kilometers an hour in just a moment. There it is. He's got the slipstream. 200 kilometers an hour through the final corner. 230. Hit before they hit the start-finish line. 305 is going extremely quick. Almost 270. Braking hard at 50. And the car slows all the way down to about 90, 95 kilometers. Those brakes are working very hard to pull up that massive AMG. It was a good job that the brakes worked then, otherwise he would have been spearing off into the barriers ahead of him. 305 doing a really good job as well, holding his own against the AMG, which has become the favoured car amongst drivers here in the SFR GT Challenge. So Rocky's got some fun facts boosting out for us there. Spec is 2 for 2. Can he make it 3 from 3? Let's see what he can do. He's currently leading this one. So he's going for the hat trick tonight. Stag, though, is going for 5th place. And he's not going to make the job easy. There's 305. Knows he's got some competition in behind. Some feisty competition. And he just needs to concentrate on his racing line and driving here. Let's see what speeds this man gets up to as we run up towards the hill. Stag is in the slipstream here, and he's going to be getting a little bit of an advantage through the last corner. 200. I don't think he's going quite as quick as that AMG. AMG can almost hit 270, but that means he can brake slightly later than what that car can in front, and he can get on the power a little bit quicker too. As the hit through Curva de Sol. It's all working for 305 at the moment. It's all working. There's Hoodies by himself. And Little Mac, who was relegated to the back end of the grid for penalty points. He wasn't allowed to qualify. He's up to 8th place, so he's working hard to redeem himself here in the eyes of the officials and his fellow drivers. Keeping it clean here right now. There's Beckwar in the Volkswagen, who's looking like he might be on for an overtake shortly. Death there as well. It's all orange. It's all Black Dragon Racing Team. 8th, 9th and 10th. Yeah, Marzan needs some ballast. Marzan in the Elite Division is very quick, and his strategy works for him as well. Let's have a look. This is Death Scythe. Not quite hitting 260, just hitting it then. So they're all hitting about that, but we'll have to have another look at what the AMGs get up to. Oh, Death Scythe there. On the edge of grip, and he might be giving Beckwar a 1-2. Or is he going to be pushing him along as they come up towards the left-hander, and he's still sitting in behind him. But these guys, they need to work together here at the moment and catch back up to the drivers ahead of them, which is Hoodie. He's 6 seconds ahead of that little field we saw him behind. Spec 1 leads. He's grown that to 3.4 seconds, and very, very good first stint coming into the second for Spec. He'll be happy with the way things are unfolding. It's all going to come down to fuel and tyre choice from here on in. So big strategy calls to come from the drivers. And CK's been caught by Speak here. So speak loud. It's not going to be long. Have a look at the top end of this AMG. Just slightly quicker. 260, 265. He did have the slipstream. But it's fairly equal, I must admit, with the top line speed through there. Yeah, CK is on the RMs right now. He went to the mediums for his second stint. He started on the soft tire, and then you can see on the mediums, that is why his speed difference is so much slower in the second stint. Those mediums cost you a lot of time. Through the field, 305, holding his own still against Stag. Looks like Stag is slowly dropping off the back end of 305 here. So 305 is getting the edge on him. And there's Hoodie now approaching the scene, and is going to make the duo a trio. And Stag, looks like Stag's going to go for it. He's going to do the Hamilton move. I don't know if there was touching there. We're going to have a look at that one. But 305 back ahead. And did Stag go out wide? Oh, big moment from Stag. Oh, I don't know how he held on to that. And DNA Hoodie almost caught the back end of that one. He did some great avoiding driving. But wow, Stag almost caused a massive accident. I don't know how that one unfolded. We'll have to go. Let's go back and have a look. So 305. He got the run on 305 here. And then I don't know if I think 305 did that to himself. He just ran wide. And then there was a bit of a bump coming through. which forced Stag wide, and then as he tried to rejoin, I don't know how he's held that one up. And yeah, Hoodie did a really good job to avoid what could have been a big moment here in this race. But an incredible set of skills there from the man Stag to hold it. Valsty9098 has followed us on Twitch. Thank you, brother or sister. Thanks for coming along. So as you all know, everyone, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and now Mixer, so you can pick your platform to watch each of these races live. And now that the chat works, you can all talk to each other. It doesn't matter where you are, so you can pick whatever platform works for you. So yeah, have fun with that one. So CK will regain the lead of this one as Spec 1 has taken to the pits. The Spec taking his fuel. Now it looks like it's a quick stop for Spec. And now it might be close between him and Speak here. So Spec's on the medium tyre. So Spec has just come out 3.8 seconds behind the two drivers ahead of him, who are CK and Speak. So Spec 1 we can tick off our medium compound list as well. They've just got to run the medium tyre for at least a lap. So they will usually use the soft tyre, and then it's really up to the drivers when they decide to go for the medium stint, because the medium pace is so much slower than what you can get out of the soft tyre. So plus they've got to work out fuel, and if they splash and dash, I like to call it, do they get a few droplets of fuel every time they hit the pits, or do they do it in one big gulp and hope that the heavy tank at the end isn't too much of a detriment for them? So yeah, it's all about, sometimes we see the drivers just use the medium tyre for one lap. You only need to use it for one lap. So as long as they've used it, that ticks off the regulation list. So CK doesn't take fuel here, he doesn't splash and dash, but he goes back onto the softs, and he's got about 38% fuel remaining. Spec 1, is he gonna get the undercut again? I think he's done it. I think Spec 1 has done it again with the undercut. There comes CK out into second, the gap 3.3 seconds. So Spec 1 is on the calls right now for strategy. I think Speak Loud's gone to the medium. He has. So Stag right now on the soft. Let's have a look what Hoodie's sitting on. Soft as well. You can see the tyres are starting to wear out, but Stag's got a little bit more grip left. That red down the bottom left hand of your screen and the red and white bars denotes how much of the tyre is left or being used. So the white is when it's all nice and new, and when it's red it means it's starting to wear out. And as you can see, Stag, well, he's got, let's go and have a look at what Hoodie's got. You can see it's a little bit more. So Hoodie's going to be struggling for grip through the lap. That's going to slow him down. Let's have a look at his last lap time. It was a 1:33.448 for Hoodie. For DNA Stag, it was a 1:33.085. So 4/10 quicker last lap was Stag, and that's all going to come down to the compound and its condition at the moment. So not surprising we see Hoodie peel off into the pit lane. Speak comes through in 4th place. Nataku as well. Let's see what Hoodie does. Some fuel for Hoodie. Hoodie's come out with some new fuel. He's gone to 93%. That should get him to the end of this race. And he's gone back onto the softs. So remember, Hoodie has already used the mediums. So he doesn't need to use the mediums at all for the rest of this race. Boys Noise is down in 13th. Unlucky for some, and it looks like it's going to be unlucky for him today. He's well off the pace. He's 19 seconds off, 18 seconds off Desai. So 305's come out of the pits. We'll have to get an update on his tyres as well. Ooh, and Desai pulls it up. Almost thought he was going to get a bit of a punt along through there. So 305's on the mediums. You can tick the Flying Dutchman off your list of medium tyres used. So the Rockefeller Racer right now holding 11th. And Desai snuck one up the inside of him there. He's not going to be too happy about that one, letting that one fall away from him. Oh no, and he's come out wide. He's caught that one. Very lucky not to send the car spinning again. So 305 in all sorts of trouble at the moment. He's just trying to get used to the medium tyre, I'd imagine. That's what's probably holding him back. So mediums as well for Magic Man. So Magic Man can be ticked off. Sauce for 2 round at the moment. I do like the look of the Mustang. I'd love to see it done in some V8 supercar liveries, which we have here in Australia, because they've got the Mustang now in the V8 supercar series. So I'd love to see some V8 liveries done in GT Sport. Hoodie's in 8th place, and he's also had the mediums this lap. Becquar's up to 7th, and he's on the mediums too, so we can tick Becquar off the list. 6th place, Little Mac, who wasn't able to qualify because of penalty points, and he's sitting on the soft, and so Stag. So Stag's got a massive advantage over Little Mac in behind because his tyres are a lot newer. He's got a lot more grip left. That's been a really good recovery from Little Mac. He's done well to find himself up to 6th. We're going to wait and see where he finishes. But Stag's looking extremely fast up through this front straight, I must say. Yeah, we can get a fuel update as we watch Stag and Little Mac go through. Alright, so we're on lap 20 of 38. Oh, there's a bit of action happening here. Spec 1 has lost the lead to CK. And Spec 1 is fighting hard to regain that position back. The Powerhouse Racing team of CK right now is very happy with the way in the position they're sitting. Every now and then the commentator just blurts out nothing words. But CK is now ruining Spec's 3 from 3 statistic because he was going for the hat-trick of wins. And if it remains like this, well, he's not going to get it. Spec 1. He worked so hard to get it, and let's see if he can fight it back. But that gap is now growing tremendously each corner we go through. That Z4 is so quick through Interlagos tonight. Yeah, Spec is on the mediums, so that is why. As you can see, it's a huge differential when it comes to lap times. So we'll have a look at the lap times. So Spec 1 just did a 1:33.9 for comparison, and then CK a 1:32. So there's your difference there. Let's get an update on the fuel. You can see CK's got about a quarter to go. Spec 1 is sitting in pretty much exactly the same spot as well, so Spec 1 needs to stay in the slipstream at this moment, otherwise he's going to lose too much time because he's not winning on fuel or anything. Unless he can do some fuel saving and stay with him, that might help, but we're going to have to wait and see where he comes out of this one. Speak. I keep calling him Spike. It's Speak Loud. I think Speak is good to the end. He's got over half of fuel. Mataku's splashed and dashed at some point, or he's done some fuel saving because he's got a little bit more than a quarter remaining. Same with Stag. And Little Max sitting at the position where you would be if you hadn't filled up. So that's where Little Max sitting. Hoodie is we saw Hoodie fill up, so Hoodie's good to the end. Bekwa, he's almost empty. And Bekwa had the mediums on, I think. He did. And then it's Death Scythe, who will need to fill up. Magic Man, I think, is splashed and dashed. And 305 needs to fill up. And out comes Boys Noise in 13th. He's filled up just then. And Speak takes off the mediums and onto the soft tyre now. CK leading this one. 3.1 seconds. Spec 1 trying to stay within striking range. It's a bit of a difficult job for him at the moment because this Z4 is looking very comfortable through here. Yes, Dan, it is definitely Monday-itis. I'd say that's exactly what it is, why I couldn't get my words out. No, there's no more races after this one, unfortunately. But the next event I've got this week, I don't know. I should be getting back into the manufacturers series. I know we're like, what, round 4 or 5? So I think the next round's on the 30th. So that's a little bit too far away. But yeah, there's no actual second race after this, unfortunately. Look at this, Little Mac and Speak Loud. There's absolutely nothing. You could only fit a cigarette paper in between those two. That's how close they are. It's a hair's width between Mac and Speak, and Little Mac's coming into the pits. Let's see what he does. He's going to fill up, obviously, and he's racing for Black Dragon. Bekwa getting off the mediums as well. And he's filling up, so Little Mac taking fuel to the end here. Looks like he's just taking softs again. And Magic Man taking his mediums off. Too Rare coming out just behind Bekwa. I haven't got Too Rare on my list of medium users yet, so Too Rare's going to have to come back in. Get the mediums. There should be one more pit stop, I think, for the rest of them. Now, on board with him. He's going to get for the overtake. Out as soon as they exit the pit lane. Too Rare was going for a move. And this is really heating up here for 10th place. The fight for 9th, rather. As Bekwa just come out ahead of Too Rare in the Mustang. I usually just contest the manufacturers, but I should probably give the Nations Cup a go as well and race for Australia. I'll never qualify for the FIA World Finals, but it's always a bit of fun. So Too Rare, I think he's been beaten here, so Bekwa looks a little bit more feisty and quicker as they come out. I don't know what happened there, Rocky, with Boys Noise. I think we've still got a replay of what happened. No, Boys Noise was a long way back there on lap 19, so his distance has grown. 305's into the pits. The Flying Dutchman. He can go back onto the soft tyre after taking some fuel, obviously. He was down to 14% left. And this will get him to the end of the race. 71% is all he needs. But at the front, it is CK, who right now is jubilant at the gap he's built on Spec 1. It is 5.5. And look at that, he's into the pits now on lap 24. running out of fuel. Spec 1 is also running out of fuel, but he's going to try get another lap in. I don't know if that's the right call because he's on the medium tyre. He can't lap as quick, and CK is going to come out and put in a very fast lap indeed. There's Spec 1. He's just gone past the pit exit. He will regain the lead of this one, but I don't know if he's going to have a big enough gap to come out ahead of CK. CK comes back out into second. The gap, 11.8. Watch this interval as this lap goes. I think it's just going to continue to drop because CK is going to be able to put in some incredible sector times here. And Spec 1, I think he needed to react either the lap before CK did or followed him in. I think that was his best chance. He's going to lose so much time, I think, out of that one. Stag, though, is up to third, so he's relegated Speak Loud to fourth, and Stag going for the podium here. So Spec 1, I'd imagine we're going to see come into the pits. He's going to need fuel as well, because have a look. He's almost out of everything. His mediums are fine. But that interval at the moment, 10.4, so he's lost a second already through that lap. And CK's not so far away. There he is. He's coming up the final front straight to cross the start-finish line. He'll pass Spec 1 in the pit lane, and he'll retake the lead. And Spec 1 is still standing still because he still needs fuel. There he goes. He's out. He's been released. And CK's coming through the center S's, though. I think it's too little too late. He might even be beaten by Stag here. Even Speak Loud's coming through. Here comes Spec 1. He's going to come out just behind Stag. He did. He's lost another spot because of that lap, I'd say. And Speak Loud is within striking distance himself. So you can see he's on the soft tyre. Speak. And Spec 1, so Speak doesn't need to fill up, and Speak Loud has taken the medium, so he doesn't need to go and take the medium. So Spec 1 needs to get his tyres up to temperature here and get it quickly, otherwise he might lose another spot to the man who's just in behind him, Speak Loud. DNA Stag, though, will be quickly scanning that rear vision mirror of his because he knows Spec 1's fast, and if he can defend a move, he's got at least 12 laps to defend his position here. I don't know if that's going to be too much of a task for Stag, but if he can keep the pace high, it could be a hard one for Spec to get that spot back. CK seems to have taken this one by a long shot. He would need to have a huge accident or a huge error from CK to lose the lead he's built himself. But here we go. This is the race at the moment. It is the battle for second, and it's going to come down to the last few laps, I'd imagine. It was on lap 27 to 38, and this one's really building to a huge crescendo. You can see it's Spec 1. There's some traffic. They'll get through that. Boys Noise gets out of the way. And if you are new here, welcome along. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't done already, I would remind you to do that because you're missing out on some really good racing. My name's Josh Gahan here at Demo 1 Garage, broadcasting the SFR GT Challenge. We're live on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Mixer. So I'm going to have to add the Mixer icon to our little promo slide. But yeah, good to have you along. Thanks for all the support you've shown today. And if you haven't already, don't forget to either follow or subscribe and turn those notifications on so you don't miss a race. We do all sorts of racing here, including GT Sport, GT Racing, Formula 1, Formula 2. And we're going to soon be doing some V8s in the new year. So if you're a big fan of V8s and some other categories of racing. Stick around. We've got a lot coming in 2020. But let's get through 2019. We've still got we've got a month or so to go. And this one is really building up to an exciting finish here. Can Stag hold off Spec 1? Or is it going to be too much of a task for him at this moment? Stag, look at that. Spec 1 is looking really quick right now. He's got the pace. He's just trying to find a gap that doesn't seem to be appearing for him. So Spec 1's last lap, 131.6. Stag's last lap, 132.6. Almost a second difference. Exactly a second. So Spec 1 is easily, I think, going to get the overtake. It's going to be quite a monumental task for Stag to hold him off. I think he tried to close the door on him there. Didn't quite work the way he wanted to, but he's kept second spot for now as they come through Junk Out. And Stag is on the inside. He's going to... Oh, no! As Spec lost it. Oh, Spec, what a run. Spec drifted through the corner there, and he's done the overtake at the same time. That was on turn 13. And what an overtake. Look at this. Drift, 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 drift. And around he goes. That's got to be the overtake of the season. Get some more camera angles of that, because that was very interesting. So Spec 1 come up. He hit the grass on the outside. The car turned to the right way for him, luckily. He rotated through, and a magnificent drift through turn 13. He couldn't do that again if you asked him to, I don't think. He's now up into second. I don't know if he's lost any time sitting in behind Stag there. But Speak Loud is now got Stag on his tailpipes. So it is now Speak Loud's turn to defend. And look at that. I can see Nataku in 5th place, putting in what we used to call the goof laps. And he's putting them in. He's now, we have to rebrand them to Nataku laps, but they're coming out. Looks like he's getting in the pace this time as we come to the end of this race. Stag did lose 2 spots in that pit stop. That's what happens, unfortunately, sometimes. Not wrong, Zero. That was just incredible skill from Spec 1. Clearly, Spec's real-world experience is paying off for him. Unfortunately, I thought Nataku was putting in the goof laps, but he still had the pit. Is he going for the mediums? Back onto some new softs. So at the front end, it is CK by 8.4 seconds, and it looks like it's going to be an easy win in the bag for CK at this moment. Spec 1, who had an incredible save coming through turn 13. Let's just all enjoy that again. On board with him. He did well. He did very well to hold that. And he did the overtake at the same time. Speak Loud. He's only 1.1, 1.2 seconds ahead of Stag. And I think Stag is quickly approaching Speak here. And I think Speak could be in some trouble. There's still about 8 laps to go. And I don't know if Speak's going to be able to do it. Stag's looking quick. Well, it has to be the highlight of the season so far. I've never seen anything like it. Especially when it wasn't intentional. So here we go, we've got Speak Loud. Stag looks like he's a little bit quicker at the moment. And he is catching 1.3. It was 1.1, so Speak does have the edge on him somewhere, especially in that last sector. So Stag needs to get some really quick laps together now. Hoodie's in 5th place. And he's not being... no one is threatening him at the moment. Little Mac's coming out. So Little Mac's had a really good recovery run today. Death Size taking some new tyres as well. Beckwell's come out, so all the Black Dragon Racing team synchronised their stops on lap 31. And Boys Noise is there in 13th. I don't know what happened to Boys Noise early on. It's not like him to be this far back, but something's hurt him early on, and he just hasn't been able to recover, which is a shame to see. But you can see now Speak Loud is coming up under this traffic here. Is that going to pose a problem for his defensive 3rd place, the final podium spot? The Stag is there and ready to pounce. He's got his target crosshairs locked on. So Spec's gone back in. He didn't need to take fuel. CK, I don't think CK's going to need to come back in either. His tyres look pretty good. So that's an interesting call. Speak coming through the centre S's. But I don't... Yeah, Spec will get back out in front. So I think he's just covering off all bases there. He had the time up his sleeve. So he might as well go for some new tyres at the end. But it is Speak Loud Stag. And is that Hoodie? Well, he's not too far off. But it's definitely Speak's time to defend. 7/10 now. The gaps are closing. Every corner they navigate through now, Stag is getting closer. Speak needs to be cool, calm and collected, as they say at this moment, because things are about to heat up for him in the cockpit. And Stag wants to ruin his party, because he wants that 3rd place. There's not long to go now. So Stag needs to put in those quick laps. Well, CK's gone into the pits. So the leader, I thought, would be able to make it to the end. But is he covering off his lead as well? He can probably do that. There's Spec 1. Yeah, I think so. I think CK was just covering off the lead and didn't want to play anything the chance there with his tyres falling off at the end. Because out comes CK ahead of Spec 1, still got about an 8-second lead, so he can manage that one easily. But this is the one and only battle that has got our attention at the moment. It is the 2 AMGs, Speak Loud and Stag. Stag just doesn't seem to get the pace on him. Speaks looks like he's just got the edge on the DNA driver, because he's had a few laps now to do it. He is closing in the gap, 5/10, 4/10, but is he going to be able to find space in the gap to make the move? That is what we're all going to be asking in just a few moments' time, I imagine. There's about 6 laps to go, and Stag does look hungry for the overtake, but is he going to be able to get it done? And he's going to be able to get it done cleanly too. This isn't the widest circuit that they drive on. It's no Brands Hatch when it comes to road width, but still, it's not very wide. His best opportunity is going to be coming into turn 1. Speak needs to get on the power quickly here. He's done that. Stag will stay within the slipstream though. That will help him recover whatever time he lost out of that last turn. Now Speak, he's defending the inside early on. He doesn't want to give Stag any opportunity to stick his car there and get him into turn 1. He's going to cover off the first turn through the centre S's into turn 2, through Curva de Sol, and Speak Loud is still ahead of Stag. 4/10. He's grown the gap slightly. Is this the limit of what Stag can do, or is he going to get the edge on Speak here at some moment? He's quickly running out of laps, so he needs to do something, and he needs to do it quickly. Speak Loud. This is what he'll be looking at behind him. And Stag's AMG is filling up the frame. And you can see it's getting bigger and bigger every corner they go through. The tyre situation for them. They're pretty much equal on where their compound is degraded, so no one's really got the advantage there. Fuel, there's a little bit more left in Speak's fuel tank, but I don't think it's going to be something that will give Stag the edge. And look at that, look at the power and the traction he got out of there through turn 13. Stag could not match that, so Stag needs to he needs to fix that, and he needs to fix that quick smart, because now there's only 4 to go. Up the front it is CK. The gap has slightly dropped. He had about an 8-second gap, 7.7. Nothing for him to worry about though. Spec 1 looks like his win streak. He had 2 from 2, 3 from 3. It doesn't look like the hat trick's going to come for him today. So he will regather himself after this one and try again, I'd imagine. This is the battle we are watching though between Speak and Stag. And we're very interested to see how this one unfolds. Hoodie's by himself in 5th place, and he's worked hard to maintain 5th. Nataku just ahead of some lap traffic there. And Little Mac, who wasn't able to qualify, has redeemed himself today and worked very hard to get up into 7th place. So the Black Dragon Racing team will be happy with how that one worked out for him. Probably couldn't have asked for anything better considering the circumstances. Death Sice in 8, so Black Dragon will score themselves some good points in the team's championship. Golden Fantasy 1, thank you for hosting us. Like I said, I've got to get the Streamlabs host alert to be the same quality we have for everyone else. Because I never thought anyone would ever host me, but how wrong I was. So thank you very much for hosting us, brother. Magic Man, he was fighting hard and up the front, but something's happened and he's down in the 9th. Beckwise there in 10th. And 2 Rare in the Mustang in 11th place right now. 305. Something must happen to 305 as well, because he's fallen way off the pace. And again, it happened to Boys Noise. We're not sure what happened to Boys Noise, but I'm sure we'll hear about it after the race. Now, 36 to 38, and the laps are quickly disappearing for Stag. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. We've seen him in this position before, but Speak Loud through that final sector just gets the power down in a way that Stag cannot emulate, and it's proving to be the difference, I think. Trying a bit of a different racing line there with Stag. He's trying anything and everything at the moment. But before we wrap this up, my name's Josh Gahan. Welcome along if you are new. This is Demo 1 Garage broadcasting the SFR GT Challenge Pro Division Race Round 4 live on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube and Mixer now. So you can catch us in 4 places and pick your favourite one. But this is what we're all got our eyes and edge of your seats for. It is between Speak Loud and DNA Stag. And this one is not over till it's over. They've still got some laps to complete, but they're quickly being exhausted. And we don't know if Stag's going to be able to do it. Speak Loud went for the inside defensive line early on, but Stag really wasn't close enough to make anything of it into turn 1. He's going to lose a bit of time out of there. He's a little bit happy on the accelerator or the gas pedal. And sliding will lose him time. As you can see, the gap's opened up. Speak able to keep things relatively clean and was able to get on the power sooner. As we're coming down in to turn 4 and 5. Looks like Speak's got the advantage on him here. To Speak. Must be feeling the pressure under that helmet, so to speak. Oh, Stag, very lucky not to cook it then. That didn't look healthy. And once again, that's going to be more time he's going to lose because of just being a little bit too eager to get the power down. As we come up into turn 13, they both hit the apex and they've run wide to get the power down. So yeah, running out of fuel, but they should make it. They're coming up to the final lap. We're on the penultimate lap now. Here we go. This is it. This is the question. It's about to be answered at the end of this lap. Can Speak Loud stay ahead of DNA Stag? Or does DNA Stag have one final trick up his sleeve that he can utilise? It is AMG on AMG, so it's all down to the driver at this stage. And it's looking likely for Speak Loud, but it is, like I said, it is not over till it's over, so you can't discount anyone at this stage. But Speak Loud just needs to do what he's been doing the last 10 or so laps, and he should have this one on the podium. Will Stag send it? Won't he send it? Desperation? No desperation? I don't know. But the laps are quickly disappearing for him. CK, though, he's done everything he needed to do today, and he's going to come across the start-finish line on lap 38. And he's going to be the first one to see the checkered flag. And what a race for CK. He'll be happy with that win. And then it will be Spec 1, who tried to make it 3 from 3. He didn't quite have the pace today to do so, but he will take second, and he'll be happy with the way he's worked at that one. Speak Loud, I think he's got the edge over Stag here, and Stag's just going to have to let it happen. He almost had a podium, but it was Speak Loud who kept himself cool. And that has worked in his favour to get third place. Stag will get fourth, and Hoodie in for DNA will take fifth place. It is Nataku who was putting down the Nataku laps at the end, and he's moved up to sixth. Little Max had a big recovery drive in seventh. He didn't get to qualify, so very good finishing result for Little Mac. Death Scythe in eighth, another good recovery. And then it's Magic Man in ninth. Bekwa finishes your top 10. And then it will be Too Rare 305, who almost got ahead of Too Rare there, I think. But Boys Noise 13th. But this man's your winner, CK. And what a race it's won. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've got we've got interviews coming up, so don't go anywhere. We're going to talk to the boys and find out what they thought. We're right with you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. Interviews coming right up. All right, well, we've got the drivers here in the interview room, so let's get interviewing. And what a race it was for CK and Spec 1. But CK, man, you had the lead at the end. You had Spec 1 giving you a hard time throughout that race, though. But how'd you see that race?
It was pretty good. I liked it. It was nice and clean.
It was nice and clean. And the what do you call it? Your choice. You went mediums at the start, didn't you? From memory.
I actually went soft.
Soft. I had a question for you. I cannot remember what I was trying to ask you. But I just know Spec 1 was giving you a hard time. Did you think he'd gotten away from you early on, or did you think, no, I can claw it back and maybe build a lead?
I kind of thought he had got away.
Do you know what changed it? Do you know if did you see him make a mistake anywhere, or was it? Do you think down to the strategy he picked?
I think he had a pretty good strategy. I didn't see him mess up or anything.
Yeah, we're just wondering because it was just weird. Like Spec was going for 3 for 3, but you stole it from him today. But hey, someone else has got to win every now and then. And the Z4 around Interlagos. This is the question. You clearly had an advantage, I think. Was it the middle sector that was giving you the edge over everyone else?
Yeah, I think it was definitely the middle sector.
Well, you couldn't have asked for a better result, CK. So congratulations again on the win, and maybe you can do that come next race. So well done.
Thank you.
No dramas, brother. And then it was Spec 1. In second place. Dude, you were leading the race at some point. We thought you were going to take it away, but things changed.
Yeah.
What was
it? Boiled down to strategy. I went against what some of the guys guided me in the team, and instead of breaking up my fuel stints, I took it all at once. I think where CK, I don't know, I'll have to go back and rewatch the footage, but I think where he got me is he took mediums before me and he spent a lot less time on them. And I just wasn't running the pace on the mediums that I was in practice. So, I mean, I don't have a conclusive answer to how he pulled 10 seconds ahead of me, but well done for him. You know, I was scratching my head waiting for him to pit anytime, and he didn't. So,
yeah, I think it surprised all of us. So it was just a better pace at the end of the day, I'd imagine.
Yep.
CK went in to the pits. You were on the mediums. You did the extra lap. Did you lose a lot more time than you thought doing that extra lap? Would you do things differently?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Knowing what we all know now, absolutely. I thought I had a pretty good strategy in practice, but apparently not. So yeah, that's where I ended up in second, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. So I'll just have to get ready over these next 3 weeks for Brands Hatch, and hope I can put a strategy together that gives me a better result.
Well, track position there is key, so if you can get your qualifying down, you should be pretty good.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, well done on second. Sorry you couldn't make it 3 wins from 3, but she's a cruel mistress, this motorsport thing.
Yes, it is. Hey, good job, CK. Nice win.
Yes, yeah, good job. And Speak Loud, I finally got your name right. I kept calling you Spike Lord, which I thought was
That's okay.
Still a cool way to say it. But yeah, third for you. Things were getting a little bit hairy in the last 10 or so laps because you had Stag right up your clacker. Where were you quicker than him? Was it the middle sector, the first sector, the third sector? Because it looked pretty equal.
It was pretty equal, and I've raced stag before. I knew it'd be clean racing, and felt as long as I could get a good run on some of the corners, I'd be able to at least hold it to the corners and not get dive bombed or anything like that. So it was a good race. But
Were you worried about turn 1? Because you did cover off the inside line quite a bit, because that's obviously
yeah, a little bit. I was more trying to break the slipstream a little bit, and maybe if he would have to go out wide, and I'd try to cut over last second to try to get still a decent run into that corner. But one or two or three times he was getting a little closer than I would have liked. So I did try to cut off the inside.
And Brands Hatch, how do you think you're gonna fare at Brands Hatch? Because it's such a small track, and you've got such a big wide car.
Well, yeah, that's where I also was losing in the beginning, the CK and that whole group, and I had to switch up my strategy. Brands Hatch is not necessarily one of my best tracks because of that with the Mercedes, but it'll be figure out a good strategy and maybe hold on to a good spot if I get a ride there.
Well, yeah, it was a good show, so thanks for putting it on for us, and 3rd place, not too shabby, so well done.
Thank you.
And yes, I've got Stag with us again. Stag, 4th place. You were reaching for 3rd, but it was just out of reach. Where did Spike have it on you? Speak. I keep calling him Spike.
Yeah, I think the last turn is one place I really struggle with. He seemed to just really nail that turn every time, and like I said, it's a struggle point for me. So.
Yeah. Well, I think we were picking that up, just getting the traction down out of. Well, it's technically 13 because you've still got 2 more turns, which I don't really count either, so don't worry about it. But yeah, I think he was getting better traction, and it was just building a massive gap, and then the slipstream was helping you catch him back up, but it just wasn't enough at the end of the day.
Yeah. So I toward maybe like the last 5 laps. Maybe with like 5 laps to go, I realized I had actually saved too much fuel, so I switched. I was in the middle sectors. I was on fuel map 2.
Yep.
The whole race. So I stopped doing that, and I think I just went a little too hardcore for the tires at that point. So it was definitely an awesome race. I thought how do you say his name?
Speak loud.
Specklod? Yeah. He came out of nowhere. My last pit, I didn't even know that he was anywhere near me. And all of a sudden, bam, he was there. I was like, oh. So it was such a fun race, though.
Did you consider a dive bomb on that last lap? You must have been.
No. That's just not me.
Right.
I definitely went a lot harder on the last lap, if there was any space, I was gonna take it, but no dive bomb.
He didn't give you any, but
nope.
You worked hard for 4th, man. I don't think I've seen anyone work so hard for 4th place, but who knows? Brands Hatch might be a different story.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having a chat, and thanks to everyone. Thanks CK, Speak, Spec, and Stag. Can't wait to see you again at Brands Hatch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later, guys. Good race.
Yeah, good race.
Good race, guys.
Well, that will end it all here today. So thanks for coming along and listening in if you've stuck around this far. But that's the end of the race. I actually don't know when the next race is. So keep an eye out on that one. I'll let you know on Facebook and Twitter if we have something come up. Maybe I'll do something. We'll figure it out. But anyway, yeah, again, thanks for coming along. My name's Josh Gahan, Race Hard and on the Edge, and we'll see you in the next video. Good night.